Hello everyone, I'm Luke from HUD Bricks, so very excited to bring you the biggest LEGO Marvel set ever, which is the Daily Bugle. This set comes with a whopping 3,772 pieces and 25 unique minifigures, including 3 exclusive minifigures to this set. This set is absolutely gigantic and is the first ever modular building skyscraper. So excited, so let's get into this. Wait, let me stop you there. Before we get started, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my other LEGO content, like if you go on to enjoy the video, and last but not least, comment and tell me what you think. But anyway, enjoy the video. So first off, starting from the bottom, there are so many different details, so let's work our way up. So the first thing that sticks out is this little Daily Bugle entrance slash pop out, and the thing that mainly sticks out is the logo and lettering. Even though those are stickers, it looks really fantastic, and LEGO actually includes this extra transparent piece so you can actually pose a minifigure up there. And you can see I just posed Daredevil, and he can be jumping off the balcony, which is cool. Next up, I love the attention to detail for the checkered flooring leading up to the entrance, and that entrance actually is a sliding glass door which you can just pull to the side and pull back for full functionality. You can also see a couple of flower pots leading the entrance, and we've got a fire hydrant. And the last thing on the front and to the right is this cute little newsstand. So you can see Amber Grant is actually working in there as an employee, and you can see outside we've got these little newspapers which say no crime, no thanks to Spider Menace, but this whole thing actually comes off and there are lots of Easter eggs inside. When you take off the top, you can see this fantastic newsstand sticker, and it says newsstand, comics, magazines, and postcards, and I'm excited to see what mocks people make with that, but you can just take that off to reveal all the Easter eggs inside for the postcards and magazines. On the right, we've got the one magazine which has Fisk on it, aka the supervillain Kingpin. And on the magazine it says business. I assume that's Business Magazine. On the left, you can see that we've got 3 different postcards that say New York, I Brick New York City, and a fantastic one at the bottom with Lady Liberty in NYC. And the last thing I'd like to point out on this newsstand is a little AC in the back. And as we turn this around, you can see more of the alleyway expanding out here. And something that sticks out are these little Technic bricks which connect onto the other modular buildings. But I love how LEGO simply disguised these as both a power box as well as just a bunch of cardboard boxes. And in the alleyway you've also got the rat that saved the universe from Infinity War. And last but not least, we've got this fantastic sticker piece that says New York Sewer. That's it for the left side, so let's keep on turning this around. The back has so many crazy Easter eggs. Starting off, we've got a couple of dumpsters, and in each of them we have some different trash, including a rotten hot dog, and in the other one, we just simply have some soda cans. But those lids are easy to take off, and these are fun inclusion. We also have this door here that says exit, do not block. You can also see some Green Goblin graffiti, as well as graffiti saying Eddie was here, and I think that's a reference to Eddie Brock, aka Venom. And up here, a little higher on the wall, you can see that we've got this spider web holding up Peter Parker's backpack that he hid in the alleyway. And back here we actually have one of the cutest things in the set, which is this little AC unit with that cute little baby bird in it. And I absolutely love the texture detailing back here with the studs and the tiles. And as we turn it to the last part of the alleyway, you can see that we've got Punisher right here firing off his guns, as well as some more Technic bricks disguised in the newsstand and these boxes, which are spread across here to connect to other modular buildings. And last but not least, we've got the red ladder leading up to the fire entrance, and that goes all the way up the building. But one of the coolest things about this new style of modular buildings is you can actually take off the front to reveal the interior. Now unfortunately you can't do that with the first story. So instead for the first story, LEGO gave us 2 different options, including just taking off all the different stories and being able to access it from the top, and the other one is actually you can access it from the alleyway by just taking off this wall right here. And there are 2 cool reasons for this. The first reason is you can see it from a minifig eye view, and the other reason is you can have the supervillains actually breaking through the wall because of the Ridge's view of this. But you can actually put this back on there, take your supervillain and have him actually burst through the wall like that, which is just super cool and adds a lot of playability. So the first thing you can see inside of the interior from the top is this cool little TV that says, "This just in, vampires spotted on subway, panic as garlic supplies hit all-time low." And I think that might be referencing Blade, which is a minifigure we'll take a look at later in the set. So from the top view, you can see that fantastic green floor detailing right there, which does use a lot of tiles. You can also see the sitting area on the left, as well as a security desk on the right. But when you look through the minifig eye view, it opens up a whole world of new perspectives. You can see this great little security desk with the tiles, as well as you can see the security entrance with a button, and the little sitting area has 3 chairs, as well as a little magazine rack with the newspaper. And as we turn it this way, you can also see a vending machine we didn't see before, but we can go ahead and take that out and take a closer look. So here it is. It's a pretty straightforward vending machine, but it has 4 sodas inside, the cute little keypad, as well as the change slot, and I love all the little details. When we turn it to the side, you can see what type of soda it is, and it is web juice. I'm surprised J. Jonah Jameson allowed that in his building. And finally, behind the security desk, you can see that we've got a trophy along with a glass statue and a walkie-talkie and handcuffs. And it is now time to move on to the second story. And the first thing that catches my eye here is this giant Megatron, and it looks amazing. Now, even though that is a giant sticker and is very challenging to put on, it looks amazing and is maybe one of the best parts of the set. You can see it says the Daily Bugle News with just the facts, with J. Jonah Jameson looking as mad as ever. It says clone epidemic out of control, which is based off of the comics with Professor Miles Warren, who is doing all of the cloning. You can also see Dr. Kirk Connors, who is actually the Lizard. And last but not least, you can see Scarlet Spider, who is actually a clone of Spider-Man. And on a smaller Megatron next to that, we've got another news story that says, villains promise to stop being bad guys. Can they be trusted? And I say no. And the last one is this billboard for Osborn that says, vote Osborn for mayor. And I don't recommend voting him for mayor because his alter ego actually is the Green Goblin. On the right side here, you can see more of the fire exit, as well as on the back some more windows. Pretty straightforward all the way around, but I like the skyscraper look of the whole thing. And this is very satisfying just to take the wall off the front and reveal the amazing interior. And if you couldn't tell already, this is the newsroom. You can see we've got 2 reporters in there working away, but you can see all kinds of different screens all around, and we've also got some different computers. You can see this guy's got coffee as well as the other guy. There are actually computers all the way around along with TVs, but the TVs, you can see 2 reporters. One looks like he's reporting on food, and the other one is reporting on a missing persons. So there are absolutely tons of newspapers scattered throughout this thing. The first one you can see is, who is Spider-Man? City power blackout, we need Electro! And you can see Electro on the front. As I turn this around to the other side, you can see another one that says, Rhino escapes from zoo. Don't quite understand this one because that actually is the super villain Rhino. And on the right over here, you can see one that is actually representing the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and it says Times Scare with Green Goblin riding his flyer. You could see Spider-Man No More with a Spider-Man mask inside of the trash can. You can also see Doc Ock still at large and a silhouette of Doc Ock. Also on the right side, we've got a small refreshment station, including 3 of these little drawers, a coffee mug in that cool pink color, a coffee keg to pour the coffee, and 4 donuts. And on the other side, you can see a stack of newspaper that says Law Times. Nelson and Murdoch win big lawsuit. I'm not quite sure what that's a reference to, so comment down below and tell me. You can also see a bucket, and I'm not quite sure why that's there. And I'll actually have to show the rest of this through the windows, but you can see it says Spider-Man finally unmasked. And you can also see a little bottle at the bottom, along with that cute little water cooler and a lamp. And of course the elevator that goes throughout the building. It doesn't actually work, but I love those arrows. And while the glass on this is very, very, very repetitive, you can see we get a slight change up here with Green Goblin bursting out of the window. I love how he's suspended in air on his glider, and we'll take a look at his glider later. But you can see all the different glass shards shattering everywhere, as well as some different flames. But like with the rest of the build, you can just take off the front like so to reveal the interior. So this is Peter Parker's floor. I'm not quite sure why Peter Parker has a whole floor to himself, but it is pretty nice. On the right, you can see we've got yet another elevator door, which unfortunately once again does not work. And on the right, we've got this super cute little printer, which you can actually easily just take out to take a closer look at. And while this build is super consistent, it's little builds like these that break up the norm. You can see the tray just opens up, you can copy right there, and then basically you'd come out of this slot at the bottom, you can take the whole thing off, and it's a really nice cute little build. So on the left side, you can see that we've got a filing cabinet with a camera, since he is a reporter, as well as a pizza box, and that might actually be a reference to Tobey Maguire's movie with
Pizza Time.
You can also see up above there is a spider along with a web. That is a little bit scary looking spider, and I would be terrified if I saw that in my office. But Peter Parker's office is actually quite hilarious. This is actually a scene from the original animated Spider-Man series, but it's also part of meme culture. You can see that we've got that sticker piece back behind for Spidey in the painting, as well as we've got a little sticky note board which looks great. Peter Parker's sitting at his desk, he's got a phone and a really nice desk. And around the back you can see we've got a balcony with a simple door as well as a light fixture. And now it is finally time to move up to the final story, or the roof. And this story has a whole heck of a lot going on here, including we've got this spider buggy on the side, just hanging on from that, and we'll take a look at that later. But you can see we've also got Spider-Man hanging onto these bars right here, and as we turn it around to the back, you can see this great J. Jonah Jameson billboard on the back that says just the fact that J. Jonah Jameson. You can see that great sticker detailing with it kind of peeling off. Up here you can also see we've got a bird in its nest, and that actually is a minifigure neck piece, but it's used for a nest, and that's such a cute little bird. And the fire escape actually ends right there. And like with all the other stories, all you've got to do is just take off the front to reveal the interior. So if you remember from the comics and movie, Betty Brant is actually J. Jonah Jameson's secretary and Eddie Brock, aka Venom's girlfriend. And you can see it's actually his ex-girlfriend. As you can see on the computer, it says missed calls, Eddie Brock, and there are 99 of them. I think he really badly wants to see her. But I absolutely love that cool aqua floor coloring, and her desk has that really unique shape. You also have a TV up there, which is actually a smaller version of the giant Megatron that we saw earlier. And of course, like with the rest of the stories, we have the cool looking but not working elevator. But there's just a simple little door out here entering into J. Jonah Jameson's office. And oh my word, this is cool. So you can see the amazing J. Jonah Jameson just standing there. We'll take a look at him later, but there's a single jumper plate holding him up. He's got his desk, which has so many different Easter eggs. You can see at the top it says rewards for photos of Spider-Man, and Peter Parker actually sent him one, and it says you're fired because of that photo. And that actually is a reference to another review I did at the channel. I'll leave a link in the description below and a tag above so you can go check that out. But you can see on Peter Parker's computer, he's actually getting this email. And back behind his desk, you can see he's got that really cool geode from the Lego City space theme. He also has 2 awards with those golden minifigures at the top and a coffee mug. You can also see those are all sitting on a small filing cabinet. And finally, we've gotten to the last area, which is the roof. And the Daily Bugle logo looks amazing. It is a little bit big for the building. As you can see, it has a lot of excess room right there. But overall, it looks great. And the highlight of it, of course, is the bugle in the middle. One of the reasons this is so tall is because of a giant antenna at the top, which is kind of cheating for the tallest Lego set, but you can see that we've got all kinds of different dishes. We've got one right here at a tilt, and the rest of these are kind of conformed in the same pattern. You can see we've got Firestar, who has all this firepower coming out, and you also see that we've got this clear piece right there to hold her up. And on the back, we've got this really cool designed water tower. I like how they did the legs, and you can see that it also has some graffiti for both Green Goblin and Miles Morales. This set isn't just the minifigures in the Daily Bugle itself, it comes with several side builds, which I really appreciate. This is really cool. It's basically Sandman bursting through the concrete. You can see all the different shards of different pavements and concrete mixed with sand, and it looks really cool, and great job to the designer. Next we have a smaller side build which I showed you earlier, and this is Green Goblin's glider. He can just sit on a couple of jumper plates, he's got exhaust coming out of the back, as well as this kind of sloped area at the front. Unfortunately, in this set, we have something that the heroes can use to combat Green Goblin's glider, and that is the spider buggy. This thing is absolutely hilarious, but the highlights of it would be this right here on the back. I think it looks really cool and cartoonish. Lots of stickers all the way around with that. Unfortunately, I did get a misprint right there with a little bit of white. But overall, this is cool. It can fit roughly 3 minifigures, and I really think it's hilarious. And the last vehicle here is actually my favorite vehicle of the set, and that is the taxi. The taxi logo on the side is really cool, as well as the taxi signage at the top. You can also see at the front we've got a license plate as well as at the back. And finally, the taxi can seat 2 minifigures, including the taxi driver up front and 1 customer in the back. But I don't think I'd want to use this taxi because it is very cramped. So first up, we've got everybody's favorite web-slinging hero, and this is the original Spider-Man. I love the iconic look of him, his dual-molded legs look great, and his ripped abs. My only complaint about him would be that the printing on his arms is really lacking, but at least we've got printing on the back as well. Next up, we've got this dark, dangerous villain with alien origins, Venom, and he looks absolutely terrifying with the fangs, the cool Spidey logo on the torso, and distorted eyes. You can also see all this crazy Venom power coming out of him, but honestly, I like the minifigure better without it. Because as you can see, when taking it off, you can see he has torso on the back, as well as he just overall looks like more of a normal minifig. Next up, we've got Carnage, which is basically the red version of Venom, but he is an alien enemy of Spider-Man and Venom. You can see that he has some crazy printing, he looks super scary, and like Venom, he has all of this power coming out of him. But also like Venom, I like him better without it. And once again, LEGO went the extra mile, putting printing on the back even though we wouldn't see it. But overall, he is a very scary but cool looking minifig. So next up, we've got Spider-Ham, aka Peter Porker. This character is part pig, part spider, and is all hero. This is basically the Looney Tunes version of Spider-Man from the Spider-Verse, but I absolutely love his head mold, which is exclusive to this minifigure. As I turn him around, you can see that he has a Spider-Pig logo on the back, and is overall a funny and cute figure. So next up, we've got Gwen Stacy's alter ego, Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider. I really like how this minifigure looks, and she is from the Spider-Verse. The printing looks great, the hood looks great, and the color scheme of blue, pink, and black looks so cool on this white minifigure. So next up, we've got Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is the Spider-Man that took over after Peter Parker's death, and this is an alternate universe Spider-Man with awesome abilities. I love his hoodie detailing with all the printing, his costume underneath, and the Spidey logo on the back. You can also see he has dual molded legs, which even add to the minifig. And next we have Doc Ock, a villain with a deadly combo of brains and tentacles. I really like his tentacles, they're exclusive design for this set, and give kind of a bubble look to him. They're connected by a Chitauri piece on the back, and he actually has an alternative facial expression, making him look kind of mad or disappointed at Spider-Man. Really cool torso print, and kind of a sinister looking facial expression. Next we have Peter Parker's college crush and Ghost Spider's alias. This is Gwen Stacy. She has a jacket as well as kind of a nice looking face, pretty average, but on the back you can see she also has an alternative face, making her look really angry. Next up, we've got Mysterio, a poisonous villain known for conjuring nasty surprises. I like his fishbowl piece as his head with that glossy overlay to make him look even more mysterious. And even more mysterious, he doesn't have a face. I like his cool cloak piece, and overall, he's a pretty mysterious minifigure. Next we have Sandman, a tricky villain with shape-shifting powers to turn him into sand. Overall, I really like the cool piece turning him into sand below. He's got an iconic look all around him, and he also has an angry clone face. Next up, we've got Green Goblin, a freaky villain with an explosive bag of tricks, aka his little pumpkins. You can see he has a super sinister look on his face, a little satchel, a super cool hat mold, and when you take it all off, you can see he looks super angry underneath. Our next minifigure is Peter Parker, Bugle reporter and the guy behind the Spider-Man mask. His face printing is actually my Sig Figs face printing. He has a cool red jacket and a satchel like Green Goblin. More back printing, and he has an alternative face, very scared and about to turn into Spider-Man. Next up, we've got Robbie Robertson, which is a Bugle reporter with a Spidey-shaped soft spot. Wow, that's a tongue twister. And he looks super cool. I like his jacket. You can see he's got his mustache, cool hair, and on the back, he actually has an alternative face, which is just kind of a normal resting gaze. But you can see that she has those cool dual molded legs, a diamond, a whip, white hair, and that cool mask. And on the back, like most minifigures in this set, she has an alternative facial expression. Next up, we have Black Cat, a nimble, cunning criminal with Betty Brant, paws. A Bugle staff member, J. Jonah Jameson's secretary, Eddie Brock, aka Venom's ex-girlfriend, and a romantic interest of Peter. You can see that she has a cute pink shirt, short brown hair, a smile on the front, but on the alternative facial expression, you can see that she looks super stern. Maybe she's confronting Eddie. Next, we've got J. Jonah Jameson, a grizzly Bugle reporter with a Spider-Man grudge. He's also Peter Parker's boss, and he's one of the most important figures in this set. You can see he's got kind of a mad, kind of a boss-looking face on the front, and on the back you can see he's got his gray hair and an alternative facial expression, and you can see Spider-Man has put a web over his mouth to kind of shut it. Next, we have Aunt May, Peter Parker's loving and unsuspecting auntie. She's brought some cookies for Peter, she's got her little sweater on, her hair up in a bun, and she also has a terrified alternative face for whenever all the supervillains are attacking the Bugle. Next, we have Blade, a fierce, merciless hunter of vampires and monsters. You can see that he has a cool torso print, a super cool looking face print with the goggles, and on the back he has some ninja swords. And LEGO really went the extra mile with this minifigure, giving him back printing even though it would be covered up. Here's another exclusive minifigure to the set who is the Punisher. He's a brutal, unforgiving vigilante. So bad guys, beware. I love his torso print with the skull detailing, as well as dual molded legs with white boots. You can see he's got two guns, one is brick built, one is just a handgun. He's got a smirk on his face, slick back, black hair, but he also has an alternative facial expression, which gives him all beaten up and mad, which is pretty fitting for him. Next, we have Ben Urich, Bugle reporter, always first with the big stories. I really like that smile and his little glasses, and when you take off his hair, like with most minifigures in this set, he has an alternative facial expression, which yet again is just kind of a staring gaze. Next superhero we have is Firestar, a mutant hero with the ability to conjure fire. I really like her torso printing, her fiery red hair, and the mask detailing on her face. When you take off her hair, she has an alternative face, which is a really mad face. And the last superhero of the set is Daredevil, a crime-fighting hero with superhuman abilities. You can see that he has the DD on his torso, some horns at the top, his little batons, and some back printing. Overall, a cool, exclusive minifigure. And the final three minifigures of the set are the civilians. First up, we've got Bernie the cab driver. Pretty ordinary minifigure. I like his face printing with the beard and his little hat. But once again, just a normal civilian. Next, we have Amber Grant. She is the newsstand employee, and she looks pretty good. I like her hat as well as her torso printing with the bag slung across her shoulder, and she has an alternative facial expression, which is just kind of either a concerned or kind of mad expression. Next, we have Ron Barney, and this is kind of just a generic Daily Bugle employee / reporter. I really like how his beard looks and his torso, but he has an alternative face where he looks really mad. That's it for the review itself, and it's time to get down to my final thoughts. And if I had to sum up all of my thoughts on this set into one sentence, it would be this is one of the best LEGO sets LEGO has ever done, and I'm gonna tell you why. The first awesome thing about this set is the 25 unique minifigures from the Spider-Verse that come in this set, including 5 unique characters that we've never gotten in the world of LEGO before. Another thing is, if you haven't gotten any Spider-Man sets before, you don't really need to get any ever again if you're just getting it for the minifigures. This comes with Miles Morales and Ghost Spider, Spider-Ham from the Spider-Verse. It also comes with almost every single iconic Spider-Man villain, with a few exceptions. It also comes with most of the Spider-Man heroes that we see here, and a few that aren't usually in the Spider-Man universe. And now for the set. This is the main downgrade of the entire thing, and that is the build. Now, while the minifigures are fun to build and look at when you're building this, and all the different Easter eggs, the interiors are fun, the exterior, because it's a skyscraper, is extremely repetitive. 10% of the build is just these little clear 2x2x2 window pieces. So that's not very fun to build. And lastly, this set appeals to so many audiences. And for the fact that this is the first ever modular building skyscraper, me as a city builder, I'm gonna be so excited to put this inside of my city. So stay tuned for that, hint hint. But my final overview of the set is it comes with great minifigures. The build isn't that incredible, so if you're buying it just to build it, I would not recommend this for that, but overall, if you want a cool set, if you want a big set, if you want a minifigure pack, or if you want just a cool looking building, this is the set for you. But I think that's it for now. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on HUD Bricks.